yeah, maybe you can hear it, that bread is crusty on the outside, pillowy on the inside. So I'm excited for this one, folks. All right, bottoms up. Man. Wow. Man, oh man. What's going on, everybody? My name is John Serwin, and this is my kitchen. Welcome. Today, I'm gonna show you how I made this. A little bit of a monstrous sandwich, but it is a chicken pesto sandwich. We made homemade pesto, pan-seared our chicken, sauteed red bell peppers, and combined it all to a sandwich with a little bit of provolone cheese on top. I'll show you the techniques and how it's done coming up. Stay tuned. For our pesto chicken sandwich, we are gonna need some chicken. First, I'm gonna go ahead and glove up. And right here, I have 2 chicken breasts that I'm gonna take out, fillet. You can use whatever you want. Anyone's a fan of the channel and have seen it before, I love rotisserie chickens. Sometimes, actually, when I'm at the firehouse, I will use 4, 5, 6 rotisserie chickens. Makes it super easy and convenient to make a lunch sandwich quickly. But today, I wanna show you if you wanted to use chicken thighs, you wanna use chicken tenders. Right now, I'm gonna end up using chicken breast. You know, chicken breast is relatively easy to go ahead and clean up. What we wanna do, just if there's any little scraggly pieces of the fat here, get that off with our nice sharp knife. These are pretty lean as it is. And since chicken breast is so lean, we are gonna marinate because we wanna impart whatever flavor we can. We are going to fillet the chicken breasts. Chicken breasts don't cook evenly if you take a good look, right? You got your thinner side, you got your thicker side. What I wanna do, we're always gonna try and be safe. I take my hand, palm only, onto the chicken breast. And make sure your knife is nice and sharp. We get down and just give it a nice fillet. Let me get closer to my edge. Nice fillet in half. And if you keep it only on your palm, the likelihood of you hitting yourself is way less. Again, same procedure, only using the palm of your hand. Get your fingers out of the way. Go in, try and make them as even as you can. That's why you gotta get down to your surface. And again, it's not gonna be perfectly even, but hey, that's part of the character of it, right? These two are a little thinner, but what we are gonna do, take our nice meat mallet. I always use my smooth end. You use this, you're gonna go ahead and tear up those fibers. Use the smooth end. This is just water, simply H2O, and I always will. Sometimes I'll put down plastic wrap. Right now, I'm not gonna do it. You just spray the chicken breast with the water. Now, we're gonna take it, remember, flat side, and we are going to try and transfer the energy, not straight down to break up all the fibers, but to go ahead and maneuver that energy off. Learn that tip from my man, Alton Brown. And hey, if anyone wants to tag Alton Brown in this video out there, I would love to collaborate with him one of these days. All right, anyway, back to what we're doing. So straight down and out. And since these are the thicker parts, we want to kind of keep going out and see that water is already helping break up that surface tension so it goes out nice and cleanly. And there we are. That's nice, thin breast. We're gonna take it into our bowl and we'll get our marinade. I'm gonna finish up the rest of these 3 and we'll start marinating. And as always, folks, we are gonna clean up. And here, I just have straight bleach and water. It's about maybe a pint of water and I say a quarter size of bleach, but we're just doing raw chicken on here, so we wanna clean it up. But gonna go ahead, because we are gonna be using this for other stuff and we don't wanna cross-contaminate. So now we have our chicken all filleted up and pounded thin. We are going to, remember, we're gonna have clean hand, dirty hand. We glove one of our hands so we can go ahead and grab our bottles, and this will be our mixing hand. Marinade is always based in a little bit of acid, and especially with chicken breast, since there's not much fat, I like to try and impart flavor wherever I can. So we're gonna go in with about a tablespoon of some apple cider vinegar. This is that garlic olive oil. Remember, we love to roast garlic in this household in some olive oil, and we save the olive oil. So we're gonna go in with about anywhere from 2 teaspoons to 1 tablespoon. And that's honestly probably about 1 tablespoon. Remember, we are gonna be smothering this in some homemade pesto. We don't have to go crazy with the seasonings right now. So as always, garlic powder, I'm gonna go with about a teaspoon of garlic powder, and then onion powder, about 1 teaspoon. We'll do a 4-finger pinch of salt. And I just realized I can't use my pepper grinder because I have my dirty hand, so I'm just gonna grab my black pepper out of my jar. And about a teaspoon of some black pepper. Now we're gonna mix this all up and we're gonna cover with plastic wrap into the fridge for about 20-30 minutes while we do the rest of our prep. All right, we are gonna take 3 red bell peppers and slice them up. You know, folks, just want to jump on here and show you my method of slicing up the red bell pepper, right? So you got your stem end. I'm going to go around with my knife, nice chef's knife, and just go around, get the top part off. Sometimes I use this top part, sometimes I don't. But if you notice, give that nice little turn like I did, you get the most of the center out. Still a few stems and seeds in there. We're just going to go over our garbage, get the remainder, and then we are going to slice the bottom, cut her in half. And now we're just going to go ahead and get these stems out. Try to always cut away from yourself. Get your knife flat and just take out that stem, or take out that, I guess for lack of a better term, stem. If anyone knows what that really is, or what that name of that actually is, go ahead and write that in the comments for me. And then we are going to keep these a little bit thicker. And there's our red bell pepper cut up into 1 to 1.5 inch slices. Over at our stovetop, we're going to take an 8-inch stainless steel skillet, get it onto some medium heat. We will take a 1/2 cup of some pine nuts and toast them up. It's only going to take about 2 or 3 minutes. You don't need to put any fat, any oil, anything in there, and just get it toasted up. You don't want to burn it, but you will start getting a fragrant smell in the kitchen. So just pay attention and constantly move it. All right, we got a little extra toast on that, folks. That happens quick. But hey, it's not burnt. Remember, color is flavor. If we need to pick out a few, maybe we'll pick out a few, but not too shabby. Roll with the punches, as we say. All right, folks, for our chicken pesto sandwich, we are going to make our own pesto. You can buy it from the store. Feel free, go with whatever you want, but I enjoy making my own pesto. You toast your own pine nuts, use your own olive oil, garlic. It's very simple ingredients. Basil, olive oil, garlic, pine nuts, salt, pepper, lemon juice. That's really about it. What I am going to start doing, though, we are going to use the good stuff today, the actual Parmigiano Reggiano. And you know what? Let's go 120. Why not? There we go. We got 1/2 cup of Parmesan. What we're going to do, we're going to grab our food processor here. We're going to use I shouldn't say new piece of equipment, but I don't know if I've ever actually used it on the channel before. Food processor is unbelievable. It does some phenomenal work. All right, learning curve again. We're going to get this figured out, though. I'm going to throw it on the ground first. These are the fun things that happen, folks. All right. We're going to get back. Set that first. That's what you got to do. Set that, and then you can set the tops on it. Good thing, only a small piece chipped off. This right here. So we're golden. I'm going to go in. I have 2 bunches of basil here. It is 2 ounces, so a total of 4 ounces of basil. But we're just going to grab the leaves. Hey, I do things by eye. I do it to taste. If you're going to screw up, it's going to happen. Literally, I was just getting this food processor ready and I threw it on the ground and broke a part of it. But what are you going to do? Roll with the punches. Go with it. So we're going to put it on low for now and just start streaming in. Just watch the consistency of what you want. That's why I like doing things to eye. All right, let's give her one last little shot here. My Lord, yeah. If you have a food processor, if you have the ingredients, please make your own pesto, because that is ridiculous. Over at the stovetop, we are going to grab our 12-inch stainless steel pan, get it onto some medium heat. We will go down with a little bit more of that garlic olive oil, probably about 2 teaspoons. We're going to let that come up to heat. In the meantime, I have another frying pan over here, and I'm going to get onto some medium heat as well, and we will start sauteing / sweating our red bell peppers. And again, in the garlic olive oil. So we'll see if I can get a good look of that for you guys. And in order to sweat down our red bell peppers, I'm going to take a 3-finger pinch of some salt and just add it right on top. That'll help start breaking down some of the cell walls and bring out some of the water. That will sweat it / saute it. Once you start seeing just a wisp of smoke, that's when we know we can go in with our chicken breast. Also, in the meantime, I'm going to take a nice piece of bread. This is just an Italian semolina loaf. I'm going to throw it in the oven at 325 degrees just to get it crisp on the outside, nice pillowy on the inside. All right, our oil is starting to shimmer. I think we are ready to put our chicken in. I'm going to go in bare hand at this time and then clean my hands just because I don't want my tongs to touch the raw chicken. And remember, when we're laying this in, always start and lay away from you. Start over here and lay away. All right, we're gonna get our splatter guard on there and cook this chicken on through. All right, let's see how our chicken's doing. And remember, with stainless steel, it'll kind of release on its own. We're almost there. We're gonna give it another about minute before we flip it. All right, let's see how our chicken's doing. Looking good. We can see almost, I bet it's ready to flip, and we just want a little bit. You don't have to get crazy with the crust on here because we are gonna be smothering it in our pesto sauce. We're gonna give it about another minute or two and then take it on off and let it rest. We're gonna cook it to about 155 degrees because we want it to carry over anywhere between 155 and 160 degrees. All right, we're getting some color over on our red bell peppers. Now what I'm gonna do, just to steam them, we're gonna throw in about maybe 1/8 of a cup of water and then cover them up and then turn it also down to low heat. We just want those to soften up now. We don't need any more color than that's already on there. All right, I bet our chicken is at 153. Let's see what my guess is. Oh, I was way off. All right, we're good though. We're gonna go ahead and bring this out. 160 we're at on that one. This one's probably more. Oh yeah, 160 for each. Okay, overshot just by a touch, but it'll still work out great. Our oven has now come up to temp. We are gonna throw in our loaf of bread. Oh yeah, all right, these ones are ready to come off, and to deglaze this pan and not get rid of all of that flavor down in there, we're gonna take our red bell peppers and put them right into this pan, get all of that chicken flavor that we miss, and let's make sure our fan is rolling. Any opportunity to make a pan sauce or get flavor out of anything, why not? Let's take advantage. All right, we're gonna let these red bell peppers coast a little bit, and we'll get ready to assemble our sandwich. Now that our chicken has been resting, we're gonna go ahead and slice it up. Notice the grain of the chicken. If you look, the chicken's actually going this way, right? The grain. So I'm gonna be slicing it long ways. I just always like to try and go against the grain because that's gonna give you the most tender bite. So, there we go. Chicken's perfectly done though. That's good to see. No medium rare chicken this time. Don't forget about those juices too. Let's go ahead and get those drainage juices in there. All right, bread's coming out. Ooh, yeah, that's hot. Bread's coming out of the oven. Who would have thunk it? Why didn't I just use some oven mitts? That would have been smarter. I'm gonna actually do it. Put an oven mitt on because it's warm. I'm gonna move this off to the side and we're gonna get ready to assemble our sandwich after we put a little bit of pesto right into our chicken. 2-3 tablespoons about. You can always add more, remember. I like doing this because you get all of the pesto all over the chicken. Don't get me wrong, if you wanna keep the chicken as a full piece, feel free. But I like doing this way you get it mixed and incorporated on all of it. Smells good, that fresh basil. Yeah, that's gonna scratch me where I itch. Time to start assembling our sandwich. This is nice and crusty on the outside. If I stop talking, you could hear it, I bet. You know what, we're gonna do a full half cut. I like to take out that moat of bread. We're gonna bust out some new toys here, folks. I am going to be melting some provolone cheese, and I'm gonna be using my torch. I rarely use this, and it's like, why not? Let's give it a shot. I don't do this too often. I'm just gonna peel out just a little bit of this side so we can get the chicken to sit in there. All right, we're going for it. Next, we're gonna go on with our red bell peppers. That looks pretty. Let's go on with some sliced provolone. Time for our torch. Oh, all right. Remember, you can do this in a broiler if you want, or just throw it in. When I'm at the firehouse, I make a bunch of these at once, so I just throw it in the oven and let the cheese melt. This, I feel like, why not? I got a broiler. Look at that. This is gonna be fun. Get a little char on there. Hopefully not scorch my butcher block countertop, but if I do, it'll be a good story. Hey, there's the smoke detector. All right. Had a feeling that would happen. Oh, and it's gone. And I think we're good. Go ahead and turn that off. Get our top on. Oh, look at that. Sit beautifully. Look at that. That's a perfect type of situation where you don't really see anything on the outside. We'll give you guys a cross section here shortly. All right, and there you have it, folks. A little homemade, monstrous chicken pesto sandwich. We're gonna see, I know you guys know if you've seen this channel at all, you've seen I can take some large bites, but this one might actually put me to the test. I would try to make my own bread and do this one of these days, but Chicago, we have some great bakeries around, and they had an awesome Italian loaf there today, and I'm like, yeah, why not? But did make our own basil pesto, which I'm telling you, if you take anything from this video, try out that homemade basil pesto. That was out of this world. There's a reason why pesto just kicks booty, right? But yeah, we got our chicken, you know, easy pants here chicken. If I was at the firehouse doing this, I would have done it out on the grill because I'm making for 14 people. But if you're just making this for you and your significant other, just go ahead, pan sear it like I showed you how to do. Well, all right, enough of me talking. We're gonna go ahead and give this thing a shot, see how it turned out. Oh yeah, maybe you can hear it, that bread is crusty on the outside, pillowy on the inside. So I'm excited for this one, folks. All right, bottoms up. Man. Wow. Man, oh man. That bread, first and foremost, like, if you're not putting your bread in your oven and getting it nice and warm, like what's better than warm baked bread, right? Throw that onto a sandwich, the texture difference of the crusty outside, the pillowy inside. Then you get that basil, garlic, lemony, pine nut punch with the chicken. The red bell peppers complement it beautifully. The creaminess of that provolone cheese. Man, in the firehouse especially, I don't make many chicken dinners. Every once in a while, don't get me wrong, we do. But a lot of the times it's a pork dinner or it's a beef dinner or lamb chops or fish. But when it comes to lunchtime, a lot of my sandwiches are chicken sandwiches for this reason. You can take it and make it any which way possible. You can go buffalo chicken, Italian chicken, Cajun chicken. The sky's the limit. The possibilities are endless. But yeah, I hope you guys try this out. If you do, please let me know in the comments below. And if you do try it out, or if you only try out that basil pesto, let me know how it turns out. Don't get me wrong, it's very convenient buying it from the store, and I still do at times. But if I have the time and the means, I am making it fresh because that is just such a nice pop of flavor. Always appreciate you guys coming by, and just remember, you're only making food out of ingredients till you sit down and share them with the ones you love. Then it's a meal. All right, guys, can't thank you enough. It's crazy what's going on with this channel, building a community. It's starting to get some traction. And yeah, let's keep it rolling. So if you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that would be greatly appreciated. And over here, this is a video that YouTube thinks you might like. And over here, I'll put up a video that I think you might like. All right, guys, again, greatly appreciate it. And let's keep this thing rolling and let's keep having fun. All right, till next time.